getting set up because I am not as smart as I look, especially whenever it comes to getting technology and things like that to agree with me. My phone thinks I'm talking to it. Nope, not talking to you, phone. All right. Let's see if... Oh, no, that's just in the way then. Okay. We'll do it there. That way it's not in the way. Sorry, you're getting to watch me do this live. This is the backstage. This is what it looks like when I'm trying to get shit figured out. All right. Good. And we shall begin. We got to get started with the music. That's the most important part. It's how you get in the right mindset. It's how you get in the zone. Actually, music is really important for state control. This is something that I've talked about a lot before, but getting yourself into the right headspace whenever you're trying to do something, you can use triggers. Music is one of those triggers. Having the same song go for the first minute of every stream is critical for me to get into the right headspace, to know like, oh, that's what I'm doing. Plus, I just like it. How you doing, Bento? Oh, you're going to eat me? Okay. All right. Understood. Well, we've given it about a minute. We've got some friends coming in. I see we have some friends coming in on YouTube. I see we have some friends coming in on Instagram. What's up, Marco Antonio? All right. So we've got friends coming in from all over. We have one dog trying to eat me. The other using my foot as a table. Okay. Looks like everything is... It's looking normal for whatever that's worth. But the good news for you is that this stream is anything but normal. In fact, this stream is the height of humanity. It is the culmination of all of civilization. And it is called Live with Jack. Hi, I'm Jack. And if you would really like to enjoy this to its maximum, to its fullest potential, you'll need to find yourself something to drink. Could be anything you like. Myself, I have a nice cold brewed coffee. Pretty excited about this one. So, find yourself a drink, lift it now, and join me for a Cheers with Chaps. Cheers. Ooh, that is actually really nice. I was out with the pool team last night, and we were playing some pool and drinking all night. So Lady North knew I was going to be in rough shape today. So she actually made a big batch of cold brew espresso so that I could just have coffee without having to put on the pot or anything else. I appreciate that greatly right now. It's fantastic. But for you, you don't have that because you've just moved to a new city. At least that's the assumption for today's lesson, because today I'm going to be teaching you exactly what to do to start over. This is your guide to a new life in a new city, to do things in an expert level, and to really change things up and turn it up to the maximum. Now, if you've ever found yourself, if you are currently, or if you know someone who is moving to a new city, then you know it can be very difficult. Because if you don't know anybody, if you don't know the places, you don't know what's good, you don't know what's just a tourist trap and what's actually worth checking out, things like that. Maybe you've just moved to Seoul and you don't know anybody, and that's okay. That's okay. If you've just moved to Seoul, what I would highly recommend is that you look at the link below this and join our community, because the people here in Korea have all joined the community, and everybody there is very nice, very helpful, very friendly, and they're going to help you through the steps that I'm going to take you through today. But if you have not yet come to Seoul, I'm personally subscribed to the belief that all roads lead to Seoul, and anybody who's cool and actually worthwhile is probably going to wind up here at some point. So if you're not yet here, but you're still moving to a new city, you might be wondering to yourself, well, Jack, what should I do then if I'm not in Seoul, but I have moved to a new city? Okay. Step one. you're gonna check your social media because you guys all have it. Even though I tell you to get rid of it, you all have your social media, and you're just gonna put out some feelers. Hey, I'm moving to this city. Does anybody live here or know someone who does? Doesn't matter where you're going. Chances are somebody in your network is going to know someone who lives there or has some experience there. And they're going to teach you some things to get around. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean, let me move that down. There we go. That's better. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be friends with you, but that's okay because right now we're not yet looking for friends. We're only on step one. All you need on step one is you just need somebody who has a little bit more experience with the area than you do. Now, if you're cool and if you're like me and you don't have any social media and you're wondering to yourself, well, Jack, how do I find people if I don't have any social media? I don't have any connections. I don't have any network to go through. That's actually fine because what you can do is just go out and meet people. And like I said, we're not looking for friends yet because we're just on step one. So we're just looking for an introduction to the city. And you can get that from random people. You might be thinking to yourself, well, that's easier said than done. Okay, what if you actually get to a city, you don't know anybody, and you're just trying to just meet people? Where do you meet them? Where do you? It doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter where. So to exactly this point, a couple of months ago, I went to Osaka. Knew nobody there. Now, I wasn't moving there, but I was going to spend a week there, and I was alone, and I didn't know anybody. So the same basic principles apply, which is I wanted to make friends. I wanted to know what to do. I wanted to know where to go. And so I went and I met people. Where did you meet people, Jack? How did you do it? Well, when I got on the train from the airport to the part of town I was staying in, I was very confused. I didn't understand the train line at all. No clue what's going on. So I'm looking around, looking confused as shit. And a Japanese girl comes up to me and she says, hey, can I help you find your way? And I was like, yeah, I'm trying to go to this station. Is this the right train? And she's like, yes, it is. Okay, cool. Now, that's the end of the conversation, right? And it is. Unless you're trying to meet people. And if you're trying to meet people, then that's the beginning to the conversation. And so I started chatting with her. We got to know each other a little bit. She told me a bit about the city, about herself, about her job, things like that. Great. Awesome. We had a good talk and wasn't actually interested in hanging out with her later. So I didn't take any contact info from her, but she gave me some good information because, like I said, we're not trying to make friends yet. We're just trying to get info on the city, trying to get the rundown. Next, got off at my stop, went and checked in at the hotel, and then I just walked around a little bit, maybe not long, maybe about 15 minutes or so. And then I found a place that was like a street cocktail bar. Made friends with the girl running the street cocktail bar. In fact, you can see our pictures in the video that we put up on Instagram because immediately after meeting her, oh, look at that. Turns out I've made a friend. How? Because I just went up to her and I said, hey, I'm new in the city. I don't know anything. Now, are we actually friends? Man, I don't remember her name. She doesn't remember mine. We're not friends, but you can make momentary friends. You can make short-term friends who are going to give you tips on where to go and what to do. And what did she do? She told me, hey, if you're looking for a really cool bar, because, like this is just a street cocktail bar. It's okay to hang out for a few hours, but it's not great. You're not going to meet a lot of people here, and there's not a whole lot of opportunities. You're not going to socialize much here. It's mostly just to have a drink and have a hot dog. But I'll tell you where the coolest bar in all of Osaka is. And she pointed me to that one. And I went down there. And guess what? You can see the pictures of the friends that I made there as well. Because do you see how this scaffolds in, right? Like one thing leads to the next thing, leads to the next thing. And none of it requires knowing anybody or having any friends or even making a single friend who you actually remember or who you care about. All that it is, it's just talking to people, just putting things out there. And that's the very first thing you need to do whenever you're moving to a new city is you need to get started on the social side of things. Make friends is a strong word. Meet people and have them tell you their secrets about the city because every city has secrets. It might be hidden gems like this bar that nobody's going to find unless you've lived here for years. But for you, I'll tell you the secret. It might be the best restaurant in town, but nobody knows about it. It might be, listen, there's this one place, this one park in the city that everybody goes to go and meet people. It's like real life Tinder, but it's only at this park. And you have to know this secret passphrase to get in or some, who the fuck knows, right? You don't know what you're going to find. You don't know what the secrets are because you're not from there. But you meet people who are from there and they're going to tell you the secrets. So that's part one. Meet people. Expand out your social network, and I'm not just talking about actual like social networking services. I'm not talking about your Facebook. I'm not talking about your Instagrams. I'm not talking about any of that stuff. I'm talking about real people. Meet real people, and then they're going to start to share with you where to go, what to do. You tell them some of the things that you're interested in, maybe. So for me personally, I'm interested in finding a good bar. I like a good bar. So they pointed me to the good bars. But if you're interested in surfing, okay, then maybe they're just going to tell you, well, you're in the wrong city. We're an inland city. We're landlocked. You're not going to surf here. But if you're interested in maybe skating or something like that, then okay, they're going to say, you know what? I have a friend who's really into skating. Let me put you in touch with him. Because even if they're not interested in it, even if it's not their hobby, it's not something that they care about, they're going to know somebody who is into that. They're going to know somebody who is interested in this thing. And they're going to link you with somebody else. So remember I said, we're not making friends yet. The reason for that is because it doesn't matter. We don't have any real reason to make friends with people who we don't share interests with. The only thing that we care about right now is, are you from this city? Great. Do you know the secrets of the town? Tell me. Excellent. So they're going to set you up with either the places or the people or the situations that you need for your continued success in the city, which would include friends. Now, this is step 2, making friends, because now it's time to actually start making friends, not just people you know on the street. And how do you go about making friends? Well, I'm drying my mouth out by talking so quickly. I have a lot to say on the topic. So how do you go about making friends? Basically, follow step 1, but now you're going to be more picky. You're going to be looking for people who share the same interests with you, who share the same hobbies, who have something in common with you, something where you can click. Now, a lot of people get really weird about making friends because they feel like, oh, well, friends have to either agree with me on everything or be somebody who I've known my entire life, and so I'm allowed to disagree with them. It's like, no, that's not the case at all. You can be friends with somebody on just one shared hobby or one shared interest or one small thing, and it doesn't even matter what it is. It could be, like I told you, I'm part of a pool team, and yesterday we were out playing pool. I'm friends with everybody on the pool team. How close of friends? Well, I've never seen them outside of the pool team. So friends enough, but not close. Now, if I were new to the city, though, and if I were trying to make friends, new friends, I would join the pool team and then actually pursue those as friendships. I would ask them to hang out outside of pool. I would say, oh, by the way, what are you doing this weekend? Let's go grab a beer. Let's hang out. I would ask myself along to things that they're doing. And you shouldn't have any shame about doing this. This is something that a lot of people get a little bit awkward about. Is they're like, oh, do you have plans? Oh, okay, never mind. As if somebody can only plan things with one person. Invite yourself along for things. Now, obviously, ask if it's okay, right? Say like, oh, well, if it's cool, that sounds fun. I'd like to join. Is it a group thing, or is it just like, because if you're just going on a date, then I don't want to be the third wheel or like make things weird at all. But if it's something that people can join, I'd be happy to join. I would love to do that. That sounds fun. Whatever it is, right? Because again, you're making friends. So this is somebody who has shared interests or shared values with you, something that matters to you and something that matters to them. And then you're doing things together. You're going to find ways to do things together, whether that's inviting them out for things or inviting yourself along for things that they do. If you just wait for someone else to invite you, if you don't do either of those two things and you're just waiting for someone else to invite you out, you are putting the control in other people's hands. You're putting your fate, your social life in other people's hands. And that is a bad place to be. As I've told you before, whenever it comes to dealing with women, the more control you have over a situation, the better it is. But if you're letting them control every single aspect of it, then you're going to be waiting forever, right? This is like waiting for luck. This is like buying lottery tickets as an investment strategy. And that's basically what you're doing if you move to a new city and you're just waiting for other people to invite you out to things, because that isn't going to happen. That isn't going to happen because you're going to come off as the awkward guy who never invites them out and doesn't try to bring them in for things, doesn't do this, doesn't do that. Then they're not going to invite you because you're already putting yourself up as the kind of awkward, weird dude. You don't want that situation. So you're going out, you're making friend groups, you're making friends within the group, and you're inviting yourself out to their things, and you're inviting them out to hang out with you. You're asking them about the cool places to go, about the good things to do in the town. Okay, so now you've got yourself a good start. You have some friends. That's good. You've made some connections. That's good. Your social skills are up to par because you've been watching these live streams and you've figured out exactly what to do and how to talk to people and how to run these conversations and all that fun stuff. But now what? Now you're in a new city. You have friends. Do you have a job? Do you have work? If you don't, guess who's going to help you? The friends. That's exactly right. Because no matter what it is you do for work, your friends, just like in step 1, how it led you to step 2 is going to lead you to step 3. Because your friends will know somebody who works in this field, or they'll know somebody who can maybe point you in the right direction. Now, of course, you can use job finding websites, and you can post your resume up, and you can get your monster.coms or your ZipRecruiters or your whatever else. But that's not nearly as good. It's never as good as having a personal connection to a job. So if you actually want one of the good jobs, not the jobs that get posted online, but one of the good jobs, you need to know somebody. Right? It's not what you know, it's who you know. How you know. But who you know. It's who you know, and your friends are going to help you with that. Now, they might not work in the same field as you. They might not know anything about your field, but you're making friends who also make friends with other people, and they will know somebody who's like, so you're trying to find work as a photographer here in town. You know what? I have a friend who does that, and he does wedding photography. I'm not sure what you do, but I bet that he can put you in touch with some clients who do things like this, or maybe he can put you in touch with a studio who's looking for a new photographer or something like that. Okay, now you've got an in, because your social skills are actually going to take you much further than your resume in any situation. We started with not knowing anybody, not knowing anything. We met some random people. They led us to where the friends are going to be. Now we've made some friends. The friends lead us to where the work is going to be. And the work, well, from there, the world is your oyster, right? Because now you have friends, now you have work. I assume you're not homeless. Secure lodging before you get to a place. Worst case scenario, just have enough extra money to put yourself up in hotels or something for a while. Don't be homeless. I don't feel like I need to say a lot about this. You guys probably already know that. Now, in the last 17 minutes, I've taught you how to get to a new city, go out, meet people, meet people who know the secrets of the city and know the groups in town who point you towards friends, and then how to make those friends and how to turn those into connections and professional connections, I think we're set, because now you've built a home, haven't you? Now you're no longer in a city you don't know with people you don't know. You're in a city where you are gainfully employed with friends and with a good grasp of the city and the layout and where the cool places are. You know the secrets of the city. And if somebody else comes to town right now and they have the fortune of meeting you, well, you're basically a local. So, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's lesson and bring in our friends from the panel. It looks like we have the kid coming in from California and Big Julius coming in from Texas. Oh, before I forget, hit the like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe, hit all the things, hit the heart buttons and all that stuff on Instagram. And I have to let you guys go because I don't know how to bring you guys in for this stuff on PC. Unfortunately for you Instagrammers, Instagram doesn't let me stream from PC. So you get the shit into the stick and you miss out on the second half of the stream where we bring people in and do a live Q&A. Well, you want to find the rest of it, go over to YouTube or click the button below, join the community. Jesus Christ, Julius, are you okay, man? This guy. All right, I'm letting you guys go first. Goodbye, Instagram. All right, he keeps leaving and coming back and leaving and coming back, and I don't know what's going on with him. All right, let's try one more time. Hey, man, are you okay?
Me? Yeah. I was just moving between devices. I was running a malware byte to my computer.
Oh, okay. Because you're like you kept disconnecting, reconnecting, disconnecting.
Yeah. Oh, it's fine. It was just me moving between my computer and my phone.
Okay.
And then so everything's fine.
All right. Well, as long as you're okay, then all is
Totally
well.
fine.
What's up, the kid?
Hello.
How are you doing, big guy? Oh, I'm gonna need to turn your volume up a bit. Let's put the kid up to max volume. Say hello.
Hello.
Okay, that's
a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, what do you have for us today, the kid? Let's just go ahead and jump right in.
Yeah, for sure. So let's just start kind of we have a community submitted question.
Mm-hmm.
So the question goes, if she ignores you for 1 to 2 days, then responds, you ignore her for a while as well, and then something like this happens, and I'll go to that in a second. Should I just let her go or make her apologize? And the situation he's referencing, because he had a chat contact or whatever, and I think it went along to some sign she sent him, "You're not going to contact me, then bye." That was like the phrase he got after not responding after 2 days or something. So that was kind of the situation he got where she got annoyed he didn't respond quickly when he was just following her pattern of responding.
Let her go. Anybody who's going to go nuclear over something like that, right? Like this is maximum that you might be able to get out of a girl like this is just a quick hookup and then goodbye. And even then, it's probably not worth the time and effort and mental energy that you're going to have to put in. Honestly, with anybody who is putting in this kind of like crazy talk in their own head and then out into the chat and things like that, and they're like, oh, you didn't talk to me for a day or 2 days or whatever, all right then, goodbye, and then blocks you. It's like, okay, this is not a stable person, because a stable person wouldn't, like, they would be busy with other things and they wouldn't notice something like that. No, I just goodbye. I just hard next that. What do you think, Julius?
Oh man, I've actually had experiences with women like this. First and foremost, I think that it's a two-way street. You can't get mad at someone if they don't text you. If you're not texting, like in the example with our friend who asked this question, right? So like, it's so stupid. Like, you're getting mad at me for not texting when you haven't been texting either. Okay, psycho. And using my personal examples, many years ago, this is like before Tinder was even a thing. I matched with this one girl on OkCupid right before the website had shit its pants. And was it we had matched, we were sending each other text messages and everything, and that day I was actually really busy at work, and the administration told us we couldn't have our phones on us so we wouldn't be distracted in the least. And the girl was extremely fucking angry that I wasn't responding to her messages that she sent 2 hours ago, right? And it was all over bowling, and she was threatening to ruin my life and everything. I was like, hold on. And this is like, early 2010, so like online dating was still like online dating, right? So yeah, when she showed me that psychotic side and that possessiveness and that threat, and like we had been talking since like just the previous night. I was like, yeah, bitch, I'm not talking, because like, what if I do meet you? What if things go further? And then what if you actually try to threaten me, find out where I live and all this stuff? I was like, I'm not risking any of that. So like Jack said, just cut them. If anyone tries to act like that, if they're getting angry, and unfortunately, this is kind of a common thing in South Korea where like people get extremely mad if you don't respond to their messages like right away. Let's move on to the next one. There are plenty of people out there who just aren't going to be psycho because you're not responding right away. And like I said, it's a two-way street, man.
Yeah, I just have a hard time with accepting anybody who views not answering a message as like a personal slight or something that like deserves punishment or something like that. Like,
Yeah,
just
like how self-centered do you have to be to where you think that person has to stop everything they're doing just to respond to your message as soon as possible, right?
yeah,
Like, be
no,
realistic here.
I'm out.
We're all grown-ass people working, we have jobs, we have other things going on. You're not the center of our universe, right? And
Yeah.
so to think that they have to respond right away, like it's really shitty and selfish and unrealistic. A lot of immaturity there I see too. So our friend just needs to move on from that one, I think.
I agree.
Yeah, that's a major red flag. I mean, imagine you're not even dating this person yet, and they're already acting this way.
You haven't
Holy
even
shit!
fucked.
Oh
Like
man,
it's just
shit.
someone you kind of know. Maybe you approached them on the street and got their number. Maybe you linked up through online dating,
Yeah,
whatever. Like, and they're already losing their mind like
and,
that.
and 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 he got blocked, right? So he had a messenger through SMS, not through the app. So the girl, she's got her brain just twisted up in a bunch of different ways, and this just isn't. These are all just red flags all over the place.
But
This is like
like
the
you,
Mount
you
Everest of red flags.
messaging her through something else, telling
Yeah,
her to unblock you there. Doesn't
yeah.
that just stink of desperation?
It
Like
does. So
I
I
would,
think, say I just wanted to. No, dude, just block her. Let that one
yeah,
go. She's
yeah.
a
You
psycho.
you block and you move on, right?
Hmm. Yeah, because she's already giving you this grief and you're complaining about it, and you guys aren't even dating. You haven't done anything. Psh, come on.
Yeah, just crazy people.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, dude, yeah, I wouldn't put up with that shit. Like, I understand if it was like, you guys were up all night doing it, and it was amazing. You're like, all right, fine. I gotta balance things out here. She's amazing in bed, but she's kind of a psycho. Cool, I get that. There's nothing there. But no.
Does she fit into the hot crazy matrix?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. She's yeah. Like, yeah. She goes all the way crazy, but I don't know. Is she hot? That's the thing too. So
The
we'll
kid,
just
are
have
you
to
aware of
consider.
the hot crazy matrix?
Yeah, you made a nice little chart for one of the lesson videos.
Okay, so I did not make that chart. I would love to take credit for the chart, but that is a chart that I found on the internet that other older, wiser people than me have made. However, I do apply that chart regularly to our lessons. And yes, the hot crazy matrix is a very important thing to know, to be aware of. If you, as one of our viewers, do not yet know about the hot crazy matrix, just Google that shit. It's there. It's not mine. I'm not going to take credit for it. However, I do have some additions to the hot crazy matrix, which is there are some instant no-goes. If she's a hairdresser, if she's a redhead, if her name is Tiffany, okay, all of those you just instant like, this is a crazy person, not worth it. No matter how hot they are, not worth it. Maybe for a fling, maybe for a short term, but never anything more than that. Hot crazy matrix, important stuff to know. Know your shit. The kid, what's on next?
Yeah, so since today's theme was kind of moving to a new city, what to do eventually, I know both you've got. Hey Simba, I know both you guys. Throughout your years, especially have moved to Korea at one point, and probably have moved to other cities as well. Had to kind of set up new home bases, new friend groups, to just kind of rebuild the lives. So I'm curious if both of you guys could maybe tell both your like stories of maybe moving to Korea or when you moved to another city that was quite memorable. And then some of the things you learned and like you would have done differently maybe, where you're like, hey, I wasted 6 months trying this when I should have done this instead.
Julius, I'm going to let you get started on this, and I'm going to get myself some more cold brew.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'll go and get started. Yeah. So I think I already explained a little bit of like my origin story in Korea. But like when I first moved to the countryside, I made the mistake of like not trying to meet a lot of people because I was kind of set in my ways of only meeting like my college friends or hanging out with my coworkers. It wasn't until like I think the following year where I started actually meeting other foreigners in the town I lived in and in the nearby city that I was actually able to like start dating and meeting new people and having a lot of friends and actually therefore having an amazing time. So like my first year in Korea was kind of boring. Like I dated a little bit, but I didn't have many friends. The second year though, my social life was like an 11 out of 10. I had a girlfriend. We were traveling around, we were doing all sorts of stuff. So my second year was far, 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 far more memorable and better because I actually put in the effort. When I went back to Korea and I moved to Seoul, however, I used that same experience. I was like, well, I can't just sit on my ass and just wait to meet someone or to make friends because like I had Jack already and I had a few other friends as well. But sometimes Jack is busy. He's doing his own thing. Especially at the time, he was kind of like a tornado in dating. So I was like, okay, well, if he's not always available, my other friends aren't always available. Like I have to make my own friends and do my own thing. So I would just meet people, whether it was at the gym or at work, or I'd meet friends through them, or I'd meet other people going out, and then we just continue hanging out. And that's how I got my social life going, and therefore my dating life, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's always just kind of like you have to put in some bit of effort to kind of get the ball rolling because like if you do what I did the first year, it was just kind of like sitting there twiddling my thumbs. I had a girlfriend back in the States, so I wasn't really feeling motivated to like date, obviously. And I thought like the friends I had were gonna be plentiful, but they weren't because they all lived in different cities around Korea. And my coworkers were extremely religious, and so they didn't drink or do anything. So I was like, yeah, this kind of sucks. I think I'm going to go home after like this year. But then I renewed my contract, and then I met a bunch of people that same week. I renewed my contract for the second year. And yeah. And the thing is, it was crazy is that like, I went home that day when I met that foreign friend of mine. I just went home because I was craving juice. And I didn't want to go buy some, so I went to my apartment to drink, like in between some classes I had to teach. And when I left my apartment, I ran into him, and we were talking. And he saw me as a foreigner. He was a cool South African guy. We exchanged numbers, and he invited me to his birthday 2 weeks later. And I hadn't even talked to him at all until he messaged me the day of, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll go and meet him. Hey,
Big Rich and Big Willie.
Oh yeah, we in the house.
How are you fucking doing, Will?
I gotta turn this on. What's going on, guys?
Dude, I haven't seen Will in years.
Yeah?
Yeah,
How you doing, buddy?
Ground.
I can't understand a fucking thing they're saying.
Where are you guys?
Road. You need to understand.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know Will is an absolute legend, and he runs the schoolofsquirt.com. I cannot make this up. This is legit. This is his business. He runs the School of Squirt. This is the man who's going to teach you how to make bitches squirt all the time. He's got the technique right there.
Yeah, it's patented.
I would be surprised if he has not actually patented his fingers yet. I don't know if they're just gonna like have the camera on while they're doing a workout or something, but okay.
Oh yeah, we are. Yeah.
Where are you guys?
They're in the gym.
I know they're in the gym, asshole. I mean, where in the world?
Bangkok.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. Whoa, all right, so we're all over the place here. Shoulder
Okay.
press. Get it. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So
We should
anyway,
get a good lift in sometime.
yeah. Right. Back to the thing of like our stories whenever we first moved somewhere. So when I first moved to Korea, I was in the countryside, much like Julius was saying, and I didn't know anybody, but I found the one foreigner bar in the town and just went there. And I was like, okay, we're just gonna make friends. And there were only like 70 foreigners in the entire city, like total. And so 40 of them hung out at that one bar because there was nowhere else to be. So I went there and met people, but then some of those people turned into friends, and others just like they're
Why are
so
you looming?
awkward, aren't they? Are you
What
okay?
are you doing? You know,
They
just like
seem
looming.
so mystified by this. It's like watching monkeys use a phone.
That scene in Zoolander where they discover what a computer is for and they're like start looking for the file.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, wait a minute. So where is the porn?
It's inside the computer.
it's inside. It's inside the
Yeah.
computer. Kitties! Oh man.
Oh,
Sorry, we've already turned off Instagram, so that's not going to attract anybody, unfortunately.
no.
Julius, were you here that day whenever I had this dude, this dude with like a fucking weird ass name who just kept joining and unjoining and joining and unjoining the stream? And I was like, oh, he's just here looking for titties. So the next time that he joined, I just did that. I was like, oh, here's the titties you're looking for, man. Instagram is such a fucking wild place. I'll never really understand it. But sorry, got totally sidetracked.
Okay, so you met 40 foreigners that day.
Yeah, so I met people there, and some of them turned into friends. Not many, but there's, I don't know, there are levels of friends, right? There's acquaintances, there's people you know, and then there's like drinking buddies, where it's like, oh, yeah, I know that guy. He's cool. We get along fine, but also we don't have enough in common to ever do anything but just like hang out and drink together, and that's fine because that's how my pool team is basically. We're like, there are people that I hang out with, but I don't invite them out for things outside. Just we're drinking buddies, basically. And then there's the next level, which is like, yeah, we're friends. I like hanging out with them enough that I want to bring them to do things. I want to invite them out to things. They invite me out to things. We're going to hang out outside of whatever our shared enjoyment or passion or whatever is. And that's like, but that only comes by just starting to just meet people on the base level. Like, do you remember when you and I first met, Julius? And like, we didn't know each other at all. Just you were banging a girl who I worked with, and we met just hanging out in front of a CU, just drinking beers. Then we started talking, and it was like we quickly. I think it was like 10 minutes into our conversation, we landed on like, oh, so what do you do at work all day? And I was like, oh, I don't do shit. I just sit there and I play Final Fantasy VII all day because they didn't give me any work to do. And you're like, oh yeah, I fucking love Final Fantasy VII. All right, cool. I'm like, all right, well, we found things that we like, and then we found more and more and more things that we had in common. And like, that's how it always begins, is a good friendship doesn't start as friends, right? It starts as, I don't know anything about you, but let's just kind of throw things out there and see what lands, right? See what we have in common. Because there's plenty of stuff that I could have talked about that would not have brought us in common, right? If I had told you like, oh yeah, I have a passion for weird fucking plush dolls dressed as octopus or some shit like that, right? Like, okay, are you only going to talk about that, or like, do you have other things? Because it's okay to have things that you don't have in common as well. But if, okay, that one didn't land, let's try something else. Let's talk about this other thing. Let's talk about this thing. And I still remember that night that you were like, hey man, there's this website that I think you would really like, and it's got a whole bunch of guys like similar minded to us. Have you ever heard of Return of Kings? And I was like, bro, I write on Return of Kings. And you're like, oh, we're friends. Like, yeah, okay. so you find those things that line up that are the same, and that's it, right? You make friends because, like I was saying before in the lesson, those friends turn into more things, right? They lead you to other people. They lead you to opportunities. They lead you to this or that or anything else, or just other people, right? And that's why it's important to start with the social skills. Because if you've got the social skills to meet people and then you can turn those into friends, then you can turn that into anything you want in the whole world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I applied my second year in Korea. The first year was just really boring, and I was like, "Oh, well, I'm only gonna be here for a little bit. Why bother? I already have friends." Then the second year was like, "Well, I'm gonna make my own friends outside of those college friends." And after I met my friend by complete chance, it literally just transformed my stay in Korea completely. Like the first year was like the boring year, and the second year was just the best year. What the hell are you doing?
I
How's your
I
shoulder workout?
I changed their name to Big
Oh.
Dick and Big Willie.
Yeah. We're getting big.
Nice.
Getting swole.
Yeah, we're getting. Oh.
Getting them gains.
Will, I thought you were in Bali. When did you decide to relocate to Bangkok, or are you just there for a short time?
You said
No,
shit.
I live here now. Yeah, I live here.
You live there now?
Yeah, I live here now. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
We
Just,
should
How's
do a
it going?
Bangkok trip.
it's great though. You guys should come and visit.
I'd love to.
I'd love to.
Man,
I wouldn't have it any other way.
actually I might come next month.
Yeah, honestly, I
Okay.
want to go.
I've got some time and I've
I
got
wanna
some
go.
money. I might just pop down. It's pretty cheap
Yeah.
to get down to Bangkok from Seoul. I think it's like
Yeah.
a $300 round trip or something if you go on
Are you
weekends.
serious?
Yeah, it's really
Fucking
cheap.
insane. I
Yeah.
want to go.
You should do a
Nice.
very good time.
Well, that's what terrifies me. Don't forget, I still have to be married when I get back. So not too good of a time. Anyway, the kid, do you have another question for us before we just go off and fucking shoot the shit with these two?
I would say.
Maybe let's trade these. Oh, there we go.
Because one of my next question was about kind of east versus west, but I guess I don't really have another question too much about the moving side of things. Actually, I would say I'm trying to think. For whatever reason, my mind's just going a blank. I would say. Oh, I actually do have a question for Julius. Actually.
Yeah, what's up?
No, question was since you do like you've been to a lot of different places, right? And you know you
Mhm.
go to gyms a lot. I would
Mhm.
say how has your luck been like socializing there to try to draw friends out of there and then get them into different activities outside of just purely the gym?
It's gonna sound really weird, but usually, when I go to the gym, I don't talk to anybody. I just kind of like zone in and focus on my own thing. But that's been changing a lot because I'm at this gym, and obviously, like I can talk to most people in English or Spanish, and so that's not much of an issue. I've made a few friends, and some of them have been wanting to hang out outside of the gym, which is fine. So like we could go out and have a drink or have some dinner or lunch or get a good workout together. I think the hard part would be doing this in a place like Seoul, where you meet like you make a Korean friend or something. And I've done that before. Like I made a friend who's a bodybuilder. He's a big gigantic dude, really young, really good looking, awesome body. And I was like, hey, I know a lot of foreign girls. Why don't you just come out with us sometime? And I tried, and it was a little hard, but I think he was just really shy about his English ability. Now, if you meet anyone there, it naturally you just you have certain things in common. You could always ask how to use a certain machine or what it's for. You could correct them on a certain thing, or if it's a guy, you could go and have things in common because it's easier to talk to them. and then they could be kind of like your in, so that way they can introduce you to other people at the gym, other women potentially, and then you, of course, you get their numbers, and then that's when you invite them out to do other things outside the gym, and it should just come as natural. You could be like, hey, why don't we do some exercise stuff? Why don't we go walk around the park, or let's go hang out this thing, or why don't we all go to the swimming pool or something? And yeah, I mean, once you go outside from of the gym, you meet on the outside. You're actually friends now, so it wouldn't be so weird to ask them, hey, let's go out for drinks later on in the evening, or let's get dinner later on the week. What is going on over there?
Fucking monkeys, man! I told you.
Those guys are actually a lot of fun. I think you'd really like them, kid.
Yeah. So you've met Rich, haven't you, the kid?
No.
You never met Rich. Okay.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys just didn't overlap in your time. To answer your question though, one thing I would add to what Julius was saying there is, especially when you're new to a place and you're trying to meet people in, honestly, the gym works just the same as almost any other social circle or hobby group, which is first, make friends with the dudes. Because if the first thing you do when you get there is you try to talk to women, then you're either creepy or you're gay. It's one of those two. So don't do that. Instead, make friends with the dudes. Make sure that like that you fit into the kind of social situation there. Make sure you understand what's going on, how things are set up. And every gym has its own culture. Where like some gyms, people talk to each other a lot. Some gyms, the people who work there are really friendly and they talk to everybody and they get to know one another. Some gyms, it's like, no, everybody just walks in, they put their fucking earphones in and they don't talk at all. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Try to understand what the social situation is first before you just like dive right in without knowing anything. Talk to the dudes, get to know the guys, because guys aren't weirded out, right? Like if you go up to a dude and you start talking to him, and it can be about his workout, but also it doesn't have to be. You could just be between sets and you're like, yeah, I've got a 60-second rest. Let's shoot the shit, man. Like, okay, fine. You can talk and guys are okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you guys click, if you guys have something in common, if you want to keep talking, be like, oh, I'm going to go get some lunch after this. You want to come, or whatever your situation is, right? Ask the dude to come and hang out with you, and you guys get to know each other a little bit better. And that is just like what I was saying in the lesson of at the beginning, you're not necessarily trying to make friends. You're just meeting people, just talking to people, finding out what's the situation here, what's going on here. And the gym is a really good place to do that because those guys already have a shared interest with you, which is fitness or well-being or whatever. Or maybe they don't like it at all and they're like, oh, fucking hell, I just don't want to be a fat ass. Like, okay, cool. Why don't you want to be a fat ass? Because I'm interested in meeting women. Oh, well, then we have something in common. Do you like talk to the dudes and then it turns into more. And once you've talked to the dudes and you have kind of built a reputation as a sociable guy, then you're safe to talk to the women there as well. Because if they say like, oh, why is this guy talking to me? And everyone's like, oh, no, it's okay. It's just Jack, right? He talks to everybody. It's fine, right? Oh, okay, cool. Then you're okay. And you can talk to the women as well. Honestly, though, don't go to the gym to try and meet women. There's so many better ways to meet women that like it's just not worth it.
I think at the gym, it's a little tricky, especially because like when you talk to a woman there, they automatically assume you're just there to pick up on them or to hit on them. That's why I rarely talk to women, and the only reason like now I do it at the gym is because I work there, so they automatically think that I'm just not a creeper, like I'm working there, right?
Yeah.
So I get a pass on that, but most people don't, and if it's like a big, strong guy and he's more confident, then they'll go, oh, he's just looking to pick me up. If it's like a little weaker guy, then he's just being a creep. There's no winning. So I just say be friends with the guys and kind of work from there. It worked for me at the other gym because it automatically gave me like this cred. So like, oh, well, he's friends with the personal trainer who's a bodybuilder and he won Korea. So he's okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But even then, it's just like that's so much work to go through to maybe talk to a girl who maybe you get a number for. Like, it's just, man, stop trying to meet girls in weird situations. Just meet them on the street or in a cafe or in the subway or like wherever. Like, there's so many better places.
The gym is especially tricky because there's already that connotation of being weird there.
Yeah.
Which I feel like Jack said, the subway doesn't have, the bar doesn't have, because these are places where they're expecting to be talked to. The gym, not so much.
Yeah.
And especially because they dress a certain way, so they think, oh, this guy's extra creepy, because they know women know everything.
Yeah.
So when they're doing squats, they're gonna know when you're looking at them. When they're doing deadlifts, they're gonna see it. When they're doing any leg workouts, any of that stuff, they're gonna know. They're gonna know because there are mirrors all over the place, right?
Yeah.
And so like naturally, as men will cop a look or something, but hey,
Yeah, the best
think of
way
copping looks
in the gym is to identify a female and then pick them up. That's the best way.
Did you guys hear that as a coherent sentence, or was that just like fucking monkeys? Did he just say the best way to meet women at the gym is to identify the female and then pick them up? Like, because that's what I heard. Like, he sounds like an actual chimpanzee. Like, yes,
like a mandrill or like an orangutan.
Yes, this is the best way to meet women at the gym is go up to them and say, "Excuse me, ma'am, would you mind if I use you to do a quick military press?" Right? Like,
your body's well proportioned and your weight is evenly distributed.
I see you have equal tits and ass. So this would be perfectly balanced for my military press. Like, I guess you could. Again, not worth it. Not worth it. But I like where his head's at.
No, I think it's very primal. I mean, you can't go wrong with
Very
that.
primal. That's the best way to describe.
It's like using a squatter toilet. It's just primal. There's nothing wrong with it. A little gross, but totally primal. Nothing wrong with it. So,
oh man,
that's fun.
All right, the kid. Do you have anything else before we just devolve into shooting the shit?
No, I think we're good.
All right, good.
Okay.
Well, then, in that case, actually, you know what? I'm gonna let our viewers in for a little bit of the behind the scenes. So normally, after we finish the stream, we turn off the live stream and then we just talk, just shoot the shit, talk about whatever. I'm gonna let you guys in for about 10 minutes of that because I like keeping these at about an hour, and we're at 52 minutes right now. So you guys get 8 bonus minutes of behind the scenes. So,
see, Rich, he failed his pull up.
Yeah.
Rich, how many pull-ups did you do?
He's gonna chimp out on you. Oh, he's gonna show the nips. Free the nips. Free the nips.
How's your 6-pack, Will? Rich.
Well, Rich doesn't have a 6-pack.
Rich carries a keg instead.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nipple play? Is that what we're? I mean, to be fair, their Wi-Fi connection is so bad that we can't understand what they're saying. So yeah,
it's a lot better than it was.
Just show us your titties. It's better that way.
Yeah.
Dudes.
We'll see something bigger.
No idea.
Jack,
I have no idea.
Jack. Well, I know Caesar's got one.
What?
Listen, you guys need to. All right, neither of you is poor. Can you please just like buy good internet for Bangkok? Right?
Yeah.
It's so shit. We can't understand you at all. This reminds me of like trying to watch a YouTube video back in 2004. Where like it's buffering all the time and just like nothing's getting through.
Yeah, we'll try here. I'll try to connect to Wi-Fi.
Yes, do that. Connect to the
Dude,
Wi-Fi.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's gotta be better
so
than
much
this.
better.
These fucking guys. It's good. It's good to see them together, though. I think that
Yeah.
I think they help each other a lot. It's good. It's always good to have a friend who you know from outside wherever you go. You know, you can make friends. That's one of the challenges of moving to a new city is that like if you don't already have friends, you don't have someone there, then like it does take a while to actually start building those kinds of foundational relationships. But if you have one from years back, right? And I think that the two of them have known each other, I don't know, a long ass time, maybe from university or something like that.
Yeah.
And like having somebody who you've known for a long time, it really does help a lot.
Oh yeah, of course. It was always a lot of fun hanging out with Will and Rich. This is their fun.
The two of them, man, they're absolute wildlings.
You guys all met through your site, right?
Yeah. So actually, I had been in email communication with Will for like 2 years or something like that before he finally got to Korea, and then when he did land, he's like, "Okay, I'm ready. Let's hit the streets. Let's do the boot camp." And on the first night that I met him, he introduced me to Rich as well, and so that's how I met Rich, was through Will.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, you were working with Will for a bit.
Yeah.
Or you would get extremely wasted.
Oh yeah. Oh, when I took him out, we would just get obliterated.
Yeah.
But Will's much better at being responsible than I am, and like he would have like a few beers and then back off it for a little bit, and then come back and then back off it for a little bit.
Yeah, as you should.
Well, but Rich and I went the other way, and we're like, what's a few beers more? I mean, when you're already 6 deep, what's 2 more? Who gives a shit, right? And just keep it going.
Center for ants.
Basically. This is basically all that it was. Just an absolute shit show. That said, I still tell stories about when I was coaching Will, because when I was coaching Will, I started implementing the classical conditioning, using triggers to make you do stuff. And Will had decided that his trigger, every time that he saw a hot girl that he wanted to approach, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know, I'm getting nervous, I'm getting anxious," then he would slap himself on the ass and go approach her. And I'm like, "Hey man, if it works, it works. I love it. That's awesome."
And it worked for him?
It worked. It would instantly just like cure him of his anxiety, and he would just slap himself on the ass and then walk up to the girl with just like the big dick walk and like, "Hey," right? Like it was amazing. Loved it.
Hey, we're getting a show, but I think the wife. Go ahead.
I forgot about that.
I didn't.
I think the Wi-Fi just made their connection worse.
I know. Your Wi-Fi is actually worse than your data plan. Fucking Bangkok.
Oh shit.
The picture quality is better, but we also get about 1 frame every 3 seconds. Oh.
I'm gonna turn off the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Try just turning off the video and let's see if that makes your audio stream at least better. That might help. Oh, it's better without the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like it.
It's still not good, but it's about 10 times better. Instead of 1 frame every 3 seconds, now we get 3 frames a second.
Wonderful. Cool.
Yeah. Well, in any case, this is as good a time as any for me to turn off the live portion of this, and then we can just keep shooting. We'll just keep this going without the live stuff. But for those of you who have joined in, and I don't know if you've enjoyed it or not, but even if you haven't, if you learned something from the first 20 minutes, or maybe even the first 40 minutes, when we were actually a little bit focused and a little bit talking about a topic, please make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Feeds the algorithm, helps me, helps you. You know what's going on, and more people get to see it. So do that stuff. Join the community. There's a link below where you can ask your questions, and we will answer them live on the stream. And you can talk directly with me. You can talk with Julius. You can even talk with Big Dick and Big Willie out in Bangkok. And this is a good place to make connections and to meet people who may or may not turn into friends, but at least can point you in the right direction. So there's a lot to be gained, and it costs you nothing for right now. We're going to change that soon. But in any case, we're going to go ahead and cut off the stream now. So thank you for joining, guys. Thank you, the kid, Julius, Big Dick, Big Willie, for joining in. Much love to all of you guys. And until next time, Papa Jack out.